Hello and welcome to Talks. I'm Kimberley Dondo.
Hi, I'm Dan Cooper.
And we're here today to give an end of year wrap up, our thoughts on the year, I guess, on the news and everything that made it into our headlines at Money Marketing. Tom Brown, our editor, was meant to be in this episode, but unfortunately, we're in that season where people are getting sick and he couldn't make it. So we are going to try our best to cover.
Poor Tom.
Yeah, poor Tom. And poor us trying to think of all the things that he's also covered. But I'm sure we can weigh in. And I'm sure we'll be fine during this episode. But yeah, Dan, how are you feeling about this year overall? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, if this is what 2025 does to a financial journalist, look at the state of me. You know, I haven't had my hair.
What are you talking
I haven't had my hair cut in months. So I've got more greys. I've forgot my Christmas jumper.
Oh.
No, it's been a heck of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just so much going on with regulatory announcements, and yeah, it's just been. If I look and feel like this, just writing about it, I can't imagine how financial advisors must be feeling trying to implement
Everything,
have these conversations with clients, keep on top of all the changes, explain them to clients. It's just been. We sat here at the end of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Remember sitting there then with consumer duty,
yes,
sort of implementation,
mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh, what a crazy year that's been,"
Mm-hmm.
and here we are, 12 months later, saying the same thing. But it's just been a huge flurry of announcements of policy changes. Some clarity, a lot of uncertainty still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just been mad.
It has, but I guess that means it's good for us because we have not had issues with finding stuff to report on.
No.
So in that ilk,
not.
it's good. But I guess I wanted to start off by asking you what has been probably the standout topic or story that you've covered this year.
That's a tough one. I'll say the targeted support stuff stands out.
Mm-hmm.
I know that a lot of advice firms won't probably offer it because of the compliance and the governance costs to offer something that's essentially a service for free.
Yeah.
But the bigger players like SJP, Quilter, I think they've already confirmed that they're looking at it. For the 18 million or so consumers that the FCA believes this will help,
Mm-hmm.
It will be a game changer, I think. There's so many people out there who don't have access to financial support or financial help.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they're turning towards other sources like influencers, or finfluencers,
Yeah.
as they call them.
Yeah. And AI.
And AI for help with their money. The FCA's recognised that and, realise they need to do something. There's been, it's not going to be a silver bullet, I don't think. There's been a lot of talk about, around group characteristics because it's very much people like you might benefit from this type of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have 10 grand in a cash account, maybe you might want to put it in an ISA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very much a group thing and not a substitute at all for financial advice. But as I say, for those people who kind of really need help with their retirement planning and for their general finances, it'll be a big thing.
I think my biggest question around this is like the comms, maybe just because I work mostly in the kind of marketing role, and communications has always been very interesting to me. And obviously this is all understood and advisors know about it. But then for the consumer, the person who this is meant to target, how are they going to be targeted? Is the FCA going to do a campaign, like you're saying, to those people with 10,000 that's in a cash ISA that they could be investing or something like that? Or is it just going to be like, we've done this thing, we've written a consultation paper, that's good enough? Because I think you need the people to know about it, that it's something that is out
do.
there? Or like if a firm like SJP decides to actually, you know, take this on board and do it, what kind of promotion are they going to do? And is there a possibility of them doing that right now in kind of a volatile economic landscape?
Yeah. I think, you know, we've spoken before about who the kind of firms that will offer targeted support and how they might approach customers. And I've noticed it already. I don't know if you've received them, but the banks,
Yeah.
who I think will primarily benefit from this.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of emails coming
Yeah.
in from iBank of HSBC. And I've
Yes.
had quite a few emails from them already saying, "Oh, we've noticed you might benefit from this." So the comms around it's already started, I think.
Yeah.
The actual gateway doesn't open until March 2026, and then it's going to be rolled out in April. But you can already see them putting in the stepping stones to kind of prep customers
That's true.
ahead of that. There are, I have to be honest, I haven't read through all 91 pages properly yet of the recent targeted support.
How could you not?
I know. What am I playing at? Targeted support papers, but there are some concerns around. I think it's the PCR marketing rules around targeted support. Certain things that they can't do at the moment, which is, you know, affecting the rollout, I think.
Okay.
But on the whole, I think it's really, really important that customers know when the targeted support regime comes in that it is targeted support. The FCA have made that really clear because, you know, the last thing advisors want is to open up a potential complaint further down the line. So
Yeah.
they've made it clear that advisors have to communicate really effectively to consumers what targeted support is. Make it clear it's not financial advice, or not full financial advice,
Yeah.
and that they are basing that on, you know, people like you type scenario.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And with our audience, I know we have some active people in our comments. Did you look and see what the reaction was to targeted support?
I did. It's a bit mixed, really. I think, you know, as I said earlier, for the consumers, it's, you know, it's a pretty good attempt by the FCA to kind of close that gap that exists. But the advice firms are quite, I'd say a lot of them are quite sceptical, for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Just providing something at low cost when they're already stretched by regulation.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be for the majority. So it's a mixed response, and mixed response among the readers as well.
Yeah.
As you could probably expect. There's a whole issue of cross subsidisation as well. So the FCA's acknowledged that, you know, the bigger players can offer this because
they have the resources.
They've got the resources. They've got the money. The majority of them. They've got the data set there already. A bigger kind of pool of clients. So for them, it'll be much easier.
Okay. Well, I guess that's going to be another thing. What is it that Tom always says? Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time
will tell.
Yeah.
He's banned that from all.
And yet, I feel like we end up saying it in every podcast.
I know. It's banned in written form, but
okay.
maybe not in
not
audio.
Unspoken. Yeah.
Maybe.
Another thing is the FCA has finally put a huge focus on digital assets,
Yes.
tokenization, and stable coins.
Yeah.
So that is also something that I saw you kind of focused on.
Yeah. I think it was. You could almost split 2025 into two halves. It felt like the first 6 months it was mainly kind of policy, and then the second half, as you say, is kind of this focus towards a more digital regulator.
Yeah.
You know, they've recognised that these things aren't going away.
No.
So back in May, June time, they first announced the first crypto announcement came out. And then they, in October, actually lifted the retail ban on crypto ETPs.
Okay.
So, you know, for the first time, retail investors could actually invest in crypto within like a regulated framework in their portfolio. So obviously now advisors kind of have to at least pay some attention to it.
Okay.
So there was the crypto stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We thought, okay, maybe that's
No.
that.
Mm-hmm.
No. So then it was tokenization. So the FCA came out in November and said, we want the UK to be a world leader in tokenization,
Okay.
which is quite a bold vision.
Yeah.
And then, December, just recently, was the stablecoin stuff, which, again, they say they want to kind of make stablecoin a priority in 2026. So, in other words, there's all these. You've got your normal regulation, which is enough.
Yeah.
Then you've got this whole new digital world, which I guess a lot of advisors maybe aren't too familiar with at the moment.
I was going to say, this sounds like a new module for them to study for. And like having to do a crash course into what tokenization is, what stable coins are, what crypto is, what crypto coins are trusted, if you can trust them, and which ones you can look at your client and be like, no, that's a meme coin or whatever. So, oof.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, it's the advisors who need to get their heads around it and have these conversations with clients, and be confident in those conversations as well. And obviously, from our point of view here at Money Marketing, it's a whole new world really for us as well. So something for us to really get our heads around.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'd never heard about tokenization. Maybe
no,
I just haven't dived into the crypto bro world too much because
no, I try not to.
They're kind of off-putting.
Yeah, it's definitely become more mainstream though, because the Treasury even a couple of weeks ago kind of came out and said, we're going to provide sort of advice for regulated firms on how they can regulate crypto. So it's definitely coming. The crypto wave is coming. It's just about
So are we going to? I'm a bit early with talking about predictions for 2026, but could we be seeing, webinars, seminars, even some, sessions at conferences covering these subjects?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be definitely part of the conversation next year. I won't give too much away or say too much about our own agendas, but we may well put something in about crypto and tokenization into one of our agendas, because I think it's really important that advisors are aware of it and how to kind of have those conversations with clients.
Well, yeah, because if advisors aren't aware, like I'm saying, there are a pretty big population of people who are online and hearing about this stuff, and they might just jump into it
exactly,
and then end up in like an FTX situation and your money's gone. So yeah,
it's going back to the influencer thing, isn't it, from before? It's like, if you don't understand something, then chances are you'll go online and watch a video of someone who does, which then runs that risk of unregulated advice, which is what everyone's trying to avoid.
So this is our midway plug for our events for next year. So please look out for MMI Leeds, which will be earlier on in the year, and then MMI London, which will be later on in the year. But yeah, definitely we'll be covering a lot of the stuff we're talking about now, or a lot of our predictions for 2026. But I think we also talked about the revival of the Pensions Commission, which was big news.
Was big news. Yeah. The last commission was 10 years ago now, led by Lord Turner, which was it was a bit of a game changer really, because the original Pensions Commission came up with auto enrolment, which has been a huge success and got millions and millions of people saving more for their retirement. But there's been a lot of talk over the last few years that while that's been a good thing, it just hasn't gone anywhere near far enough. People aren't saving enough for retirement, so whether it's increasing contributions, whether it's exactly, but it's we're in a cost of living crisis, so it's really difficult at the moment to
and
get
also
people to save.
Going back to that increasing contributions,
Yeah.
we have to talk about, the budget that recently
Yes.
happened and the capping of salary
Yeah.
sacrifice. So does that not then undermine?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Like, why am I going to be contributing more
Yeah.
if there's a cap?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just changed the goalposts again, really, the budget. But yeah, this pensions commission. I mean, they've got to a degree, they've got their hands tied behind their backs
Yeah.
from the start, really, because they're not going to look at the triple lock,
No.
which
Okay.
people have said for a long time that it's unsustainable long term.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at obviously it's good news for pensioners now,
Mm-hmm.
more money in their pockets, but it is with the frozen thresholds, it's getting closer and closer and closer to that personal tax allowance threshold. So, at a point very soon, I think 2027 at the moment, it is going to exceed that personal allowance threshold. So, whether or not that means pensions will have to pay tax and actually be worse off. But yeah, so the Pensions Commission isn't going to look at the triple lock, which I think, a lot of people have said is quite a glaring omission. If you're not going to look at one of the key parts of pensions, what are you going to look at? So they've said they're going to focus more on pensions adequacy.
Okay.
What that looks like in practice, I'm not too sure.
Pensions. To see if the system we currently have is adequate.
Yes. Yeah, which most people agree it's not.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting that next year when the Commission kind of reports its findings, what they're going to say.
Yeah. Could they be looking at other models? Like, I think you've mentioned in the past, like Australia's model.
Yeah.
Pensions.
Yeah. I mean, there's been another thing that was in 2025 is this focus on private markets. With the Mansion House Accord, 17 of the UK's largest workplace providers have all signed a kind of a pact to put at least 10% of their default DC funds into private markets by 2030. So there is already that kind of push. But yeah, I really don't know what they're going to come back with. If they look at auto enrolment levels, I imagine they'll recommend something like 12 or 15%. That seems to be the figure that most agree would.
I don't know if I could do 12%. And
I
I don't want our audience to come for me and be like, you should be doing that. I'm like, you don't understand.
Well, anyone who read my weekend essay about the sorry state of my pension, my retirement pot will know that I'm not putting in as much as I should.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just what's the saying? The wings in a prayer or whatever.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because you're I'm kind of contradicting myself now because in my weekend essay I said, I wish I had realised earlier. I wish I'd saved more money from my retirement earlier, but you're asking someone to contribute to something that's 30, 40, 50 years down the line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and be too morbid, but we don't.
You don't know
nothing's
if you're gonna live
nothing's
that long.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Always remember the story that's stuck in my head of my old boss who he had a best friend who saved.
Yeah.
Had a huge retirement pot.
Yeah.
Wanted to retire when he was 50, and then sadly, week after he retired. So it's difficult to it's almost a mindset change. You have how do you
balance?
Yeah, how do you tell someone that they need to save for something that's a long way away and not focused as much on now?
But from going back to our audience of advisors, from conversations I've had with advisors, they are aware of that. They don't want you to, the ones I've spoken to have always said they're not like, let's max out your pension, let's save as much as possible and just wait for you to enjoy your life when you've retired. They ask you what your goals are, what you want to achieve, what you want your retirement to look like. And then, with cash flow modeling and stuff like that, they're able to be like, this is what we can do. So you still have money to live your life, but then you're also putting aside enough for when you do retire, so that hopefully if anything were to happen, after you retire, like a year or like a week in, at least you've lived. like,
Yeah.
like I would hate to think I've saved my whole life looking forward to like I'm going to finally bungee jump off Queen Victoria Bridge at Victoria Falls just for me to not make it.
No.
So
But
yeah,
this is a cheery end of your podcast, isn't it?
I know.
No, sorry.
We always.
I lowered the tone.
I feel
completely
like
then.
we always end up like this, but it might just be the times, you know.
Yeah.
You have to be realistic. I think when it comes to stuff like that, and also understand the thoughts the clients might have and the reasons why they might be like, I don't want to max out my contributions. But onto another cheery topic, Trump's tariffs.
Yay. It's been a blast, 2025, hasn't it?
So unfortunately, because we are in a world where we're so deeply connected in globalization, it's not just a story that you can be like, oh, something crazy is happening over in the USA. It does have an effect on us. So what has that US market volatility meant, and what stories have you seen?
Yeah, obviously, Liberation Day was
Was it liberating?
for Trump, maybe. I don't think for the rest of the markets it was particularly liberating, but yeah, obviously we've seen a huge amount of volatility this year, which kind of only really emphasises the importance of advice. At times like that, when the markets are so unpredictable, that's when financial advice comes into its own. Really, you see, when you see your portfolio drop suddenly, it's very tempting to knee jerk kind of panic. When you've got a good financial advisor, then obviously they can kind of steer you back onto the path of calm and say, don't worry, this is
The whole
fairly normal.
Yeah.
Long term you'll be okay. But yeah, the tariffs were just well, I'd like to say they were crazy, but nothing that man does surprises me anymore. But the outcome of that was sort of months of uncertainty. You've got the weaker dollar, which has kind of pushed a lot of it's taken the focus away from the US a bit.
Yeah.
And
And
emerging
people are now
markets,
looking at other markets.
emerging markets have been probably the big winner
Winners.
from that kind of weaker US dollar and that
Maybe that was the plan all
uncertainty.
along.
Well, you never know. You've got countries like Japan and India and Indonesia and South Korea who there's a lot of investors are kind of seeking out those opportunities because they just want better value. We've got this whole talk about the AI bubble. Will it burst? Are the sort of Mag 7 stocks overvalued? I think investors are looking at the weaker dollar, the potential high valuations in the US, and just looking elsewhere. Obviously, we saw a huge kind of surge in the price of gold.
Yeah. People
and other assets, exactly. Sort of diving into other safe havens or what they perceive to be safe havens because, like you say, it's just a crazy world at the moment, and particularly in the States where there's been the tariffs. You had the the tensions between the US and China as a result, and I think a lot of investors are thinking, let's jump ship.
Yeah, and it makes sense. One of our contributors, actually, Trevor Greetham, his story is in our top 20 stories of the year, and he made a comparison to Trump and Liz Truss, Trussonomics.
Truss and Trump.
But who's worse? I guess maybe with Liz Truss, it was pretty very fast reaction, and I think we've still felt it a lot in the housing market. But I think with Trump, it's almost like he'll make a decision and then he doesn't hold on to it for long enough for it to have as lasting an
Yeah.
impact. Like the markets will be volatile for
Mhm.
a day, and then he will backpedal or change or do something else that will then
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a reason they call him Taco in at the Nasdaq. It's not me. It's what they call him. I think it's Trump always chickens out.
Oh, is it?
That's what Taco stands for.
God, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah. It's a thing
It's
on
a
Wall
thing.
Street.
It's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Because he'll say something, but then like the
Yeah.
amount of times, like you were talking about his relationship with China,
Mhm.
he would be like, I'm gonna give them, what did he go up to? Like
100%, wasn't it over 100?
125%, I think, tariffs,
Yeah.
and then to drop back down. So that's when they penned the term
Yeah.
taco for him.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, from a man who's spent his life doing deals, you know, it's kind of hardly surprising that he comes out. It's almost like he comes out with the absolute worst case, like craziest suggestion,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone goes, "Oh my, you know, you can't
Yeah.
do that,"
Yeah.
and then just slowly backpedals. To the
Yeah.
point where it's like, "Oh, okay, then
Yeah.
doesn't sound so bad."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the impact. You know, the markets have been interesting this year. But as I said, you know, it's the whole timing the market rather than timing the market, and I think most advisors will. That's what most advisors will be telling their clients.
Yeah, I think advisors say that, fund managers that I've
Yeah.
spoken to say that, just hold the line.
Yeah.
It's especially during Trump's term. I think they were saying that a lot in the last term, and they'll probably say that in this one too.
Well, who knows? It should be his last.
Well,
We'll see. Unless he recreates the rule book again. You never know.
apparently they had a Project 2025, which 40% succeeded. So now they have a Project 2026.
Okay.
And they're going all out. So, hey,
Hey,
I'm not a part of U.S. politics. This isn't a U.S. politics podcast. Let's not.
Thank goodness. No.
We're here in the UK with our own stuff.
Our own stuff going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But to try and end on a bit of a light-hearted note,
Okay.
I don't know if it will be light-hearted because I am going to ask for predictions for 2026.
Okay, I'll try and.
So what are you predicting to see more of in 2026?
I think a couple of things that we've mentioned already. I think the AI adoption will continue at pace in the advice sector. The issue with AI is obviously we're seeing huge advancements in artificial intelligence and tech, which is saving a lot of time for advisors. But the trouble is all this regulation that I've mentioned before. Regulation is coming in at such a pace that the benefits of AI and its time-saving capabilities are being massively offset by this regulatory burden. So advisors having more and more paperwork, less and less time with clients. I mean, obviously, regulation is important, but I think so. We think we'll see a lot more AI adoption in 2026. I don't think that will slow down. The interesting thing is the consolidation. I think I didn't mention that earlier on, but we had the FCA's consolidation review in 2025, which it kind of opened up in response to a few concerns about the pace of consolidation and the integration. Because I think we will see more consolidation in 2026, but I think maybe firms will be a bit more careful about who they select.
Right.
I think post-COVID, you had this kind of, I think it's fair to say, a flurry of deals, which, there's pressure. There's pressure from private equity backed firms to sort of achieve scale quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I think you're finding that it was a bit of an asset grabbing exercise to start with. It's like, let's just get all of these firms on board, snap up firms left, right, and centre, and then worry about it later. Just build the assets up and scale at speed. But the FCA said in its consolidation review that it wants to see these firms properly integrated. So I think there'll be a little bit more wariness. I think they'll be a bit more careful about who they select, a bit better due diligence, and maybe less asset grabbing and more focus on actual proper integration.
Right.
Yeah, I think there'll be the emerging markets. I think will continue to kind of
Dominate.
dominate in the investment side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got IHT on pensions, which isn't going away. I think that I forget the survey now, but some research came out a couple of weeks ago that said that IHT on pensions will be advisors' top priority for 2026.
Yeah, because
So
it's implemented 2027.
yeah, April
So,
2027. So it's going to be ramping up next year, I think.
yeah, I think in terms of from my analytics and what I've been looking at, and also what we've been covering on the podcast, IHT has been such a huge topic, and I don't think that's going away next year.
No. I think it's just kind of transformed, the retirement conversation.
Yeah.
It's advisors have had to kind of rethink strategies. They've had to look at different wrappers, how best to protect their clients' cash. So it's, I think for a long time there was faint hope that they might backtrack on it, but might be another Labour U-turn. But appears no such joy. So
I think didn't we see something, or did I write it a couple weeks ago about how much they've made from
IHT receipts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for them, they're like, no, this is actually
it's a massive money spinner for the Treasury.
Yeah.
And also, it used to be seen, I think, as a tax on the rich.
Mm.
When you look at some of the thresholds now,
it's just
it's a lot of middle class, sort of medium earners. You look at a house, a nice 4-bedroom house in London now. You're probably looking at the best part of $1 million.
Yeah.
So there'll be families that will be dragged into the IHT net, which probably never thought they'd have to pay it. And to say, that's where advisors come in, because it's one of those taxes where it will creep up on you, and you might not even realise you're liable for it.
Yeah. And what buzzwords do you think we're gonna have? I'm sure targeted support is probably gonna come up a lot.
Targeted support will come up, I think. Yeah. Targeted support. The gateway opens in March, and then from April it's going to be rolled out. So yeah, targeted support, one buzzword. AI. I think that will still be the buzzword of 2026.
Yeah.
FCA.
Yes.
It's got to be FCA.
Yeah.
You like to think that maybe they'd take a bit of a break, have a month off.
I don't think they can.
No, just go on holiday, just put the out of office on.
They can't do that.
Give everyone a break.
No, why? They need to. If anything, people are always like, "You're not doing enough."
I think they're doing enough.
Yeah. What to end? What words would you like to? What buzzwords would you like to see just disappear out of here? In the trash.
That's a good question. It's like Room 101. Buzzwords. That's a really good question.
Like what, when we get our press releases and stuff like that, and you see like holistic or
Yeah, holistics.
Because what does that mean?
Maybe the advice gap. Which is quite ironic, because I've written about the advice gap a lot, and it's an important subject, but it's just one that it feels like there's no end solution in sight at the moment.
Yeah.
And I know that, I think it was Ruth Handcock from Octopus who said it's like the advice gap Groundhog Day, I think she called it, saying that like it's been part of the conversation now for so long.
Yeah.
And yes, I know that there are steps being taken to address it, but it's kind of feels like it's not any closer at the moment to being solved. So yeah, maybe mind the gap, or the advice gap. That would be
anything to do with the gap. I think we're gonna see a lot of target. But I don't know if there's any words that
How about you?
I think I'm surprised how quickly Consumer Duty stopped, because last year I think it was constant, but now quiet crickets kind of. But what words am I? I don't know. I think all of the
Trump?
ones that yeah, they always try. I think what press releases annoy me is when they try and relate something that's happened in pop culture to something within financial advice or
Yeah.
within financial services, and I'm like, how? What? Now, why are we talking about Love Island with this merger and acquisition? I don't know, but it's always really. But I do um, give them grace because they're trying to make it interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think my favourite press release of 2025 was how much does Taylor Swift spend on kebabs?
Oh.
I can't remember the answer. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But
Well.
yeah, that was the.
Well, she helped the economy.
Well,
Was it this year when she went on tour and she was boosting every
Apparently.
country's economy?
Yeah.
So,
But apparently also contributing to great global warming as
well, yes, she has her jet. Yeah. So
Yeah,
she's
the
not great for
anti-Swifties.
ESG,
No,
but
good for the economy,
great
not great for
the
ESG.
economy.
Exactly.
But I think one word I would like to not see is crypto, but we will see a lot of it. I was hoping it was going to die down, but I think the crypto bros are here to
I
stay.
think they are.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have for our end of year podcast. I think we've covered a lot. And yeah, like you said, this year was full of ups and downs, and we've learned a lot from this year.
Certainly have.
But I do have hope, and I think I don't want people to clip this and be like, you said this last year, but I do hope that 2026 will be a really positive year in the economy, in society, in the world.
Let's hope so.
But I am grateful to our audience for being with us this
thank
year.
you. It's been great. Thanks for following all of our stories and commenting. We always do appreciate it, and obviously for attending our events as well.
Yes.
Which were great this year, I think.
They were amazing, and we're stepping it up for next year. So, like I said, look out for those. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next year.
Cheers.